everyone. So my name is Andrea Morley. For those of you who have not seen me speak before or haven't met me before, I am a nutritionist and health coach at Healthy Trucker. Healthy Trucker is a division of NAL Insurance, the leading provider of WSIB alternative coverage for owner-operators. Now, back in about 2012, the team at NAL saw that there was an increase in the number of claims that were coming in, disability claims. Not only was there an increase in the number of claims, but drivers were actually having to stay off on disability for longer than they normally would. And a big part of that was due to their health. So for example, we may have a driver who has a shoulder injury, a rotator cuff injury, quite common for drivers. And then in order for that driver to go back to work, they would need a surgery to fix the shoulder. But then the doctor would refuse to do the surgery simply because that driver was in such poor health. Now that's a problem, because if this driver needs to go back to work and they want to get back to work, but they're not able to because of their health, what do we do about that? So NAL Insurance saw that they had a choice to make. They could take the reactive approach and increase the price of premiums, or they could take the proactive approach and actually try to improve the health of the truck drivers. So with me being here, of course, they took the proactive approach and Healthy Trucker was born. I came on board in 2014, and since then we have helped to transform the lives of hundreds of truck drivers, helping them to shed thousands of pounds over the years, and we've implemented lots of different types of programs and challenges to help them do so. Now, one of the things that I do is I come out to events like this, and I go to drivers meetings, and I go to the offices of trucking companies, and I help to educate the drivers and the office staff on getting healthier. And a big part of that is teaching them to move a little bit more when they're on the road, when they're in the office, whatever they're doing. So one thing that I like to do is get everybody up for a stretch break. I do that at drivers meetings, at conferences like this, because whether you're a driver or an office worker or somebody that's just sitting through a seminar, you are sitting in a way that puts a lot of tension in a lot of areas of your body. Your neck, your back, your chest, and your legs. So no matter what you're doing, drivers, office staff, they have a lot of similarities in the fact that they are quite sedentary. So we want to try to stretch out those areas as much as we can in order to improve blood flow, in order to improve attention and focus and energy levels. Really important if you're a driver on the road, we need to keep you safe and healthy, and then somebody sitting in an event like this, you want to stay focused so that you can absorb as much information as possible and stay alert and enjoy the day. So with that, I will have everybody stand up. I promise this will be quick and painless. If you're wearing a suit jacket, you're welcome to take it off right now. That might give you a little bit more range of motion. All right, so we are going to go through the key areas of the body that tend to tense up when you are sitting for a long period of time. First thing we're going to do is the neck. So really simple, all you need to do is tilt your chin to your chest, okay? Just like that. Now I'll have you stay like that. I'm going to just talk to you for a second. So you're going to feel this stretch through the back of your neck and maybe even a little bit lower through your back as well if things are quite tense, okay? Ideally, I would have you hold these stretches for about 30 to 60 seconds, but for time's sake, we're gonna move through things a little bit quicker so you can lift up and reset. Now I want you to stand with good posture, okay? So shoulders back just a bit, and now we're going to stretch out the sides of the neck and tilt your left ear to your left shoulder. Again, these are really simple stretches, just leave that there. Really simple stretches, but they have a big impact. You can go ahead and lift up, and then we'll tilt the right ear to the right shoulder. Can you feel that? Yeah. All right, go ahead and lift up again. Now, when we are sitting at a desk, for example, and typing on a keyboard, or if a driver's sitting behind a wheel, they've got their arms in front of them, and that creates a lot of tension in the chest area. So we are going to stretch that out by simply lifting our arms up at a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to push our hands and our elbows towards the back of the room. So you're going to feel the stretch right across the front of the chest, because we want to try to correct any bad posture, that forward shoulder that we tend to get. Now, hopefully none of you have been in this position before. It looks a little bit like you're getting arrested, but it's an effective stretch. All right, go ahead and shake that out. The blood was draining a little from your hands there. Good. Now we want to do the back. So we did the chest. That's a little bit more important, if anything, than the back in correcting posture, but we don't want to leave the back out because that's a huge muscle. So we're simply going to clasp our hands in front of us, and then we're going to reach them forward, separating our shoulder blades, and you're going to feel the stretch right between your shoulder blades in the back. Reach forward a little bit more. Good. And we always want to stretch to the point of tension and never pain. So make sure you're getting an effective stretch, but don't overdo it. All right, next up, we're going to do the lower back. So that was upper back. We'll move to lower back. Now, be careful that you don't get anybody's behind in the face when you do this one. So you are simply going to hinge forward at the hips. Now, keep your knees bent a little bit because we're not trying to stretch the backs of the legs. Knees bent just a bit, and then hinging forward at the hips, okay? You should feel that through the lower back. You can reach down if you want and try to touch your knees, maybe even your toes, but that's okay if you can't. Good. All right, stand back up. And then finally, we are just going to do the legs. So when we are sitting at a 90-degree angle, just to kind of demonstrate, our hips tend to tighten up, and then our hamstrings tend to tighten up with the knees at a 90-degree angle as well. So we are going to stretch the hips simply by placing one foot about a foot in front of us. Now I'm doing this in a dress, so bear with me. And then put your hands on your hips, lunge into the front leg, and then push the back hip forward, okay? Perfect. You'll feel that right through the back hip. Stand up and switch to the other leg. Lunging into the front leg, pushing through the back hip. All right, stand back up. And then finally, we are going to stretch the hamstrings, as I said. So similar to that one, we are going to plant our heel about a foot in front of us. Make sure it's the heel, not putting your foot straight down. And then we are going to simply lean into that, keeping the front leg bent this time so that you feel the stretch through the back of your hamstring and maybe even a little bit in your calf. All right, stand back up and then switch legs. Heel planted a foot in front of you, leaning into it. Hold that for a few more seconds. Perfect. Go ahead and stand up, give it a little shake out, sit back down. Now that was quick and painless, as I promised. But chances are you do feel a little bit better. Maybe you lost a little bit of tension that was starting to flare up. And hopefully you'll be that much more focused and alert for the rest of the day. All right? Thank you.